Now to what the feds are telling us is the largest data breach in our nation's history. The private information of millions of Americans has been stolen from places where they've swiped debit and credit cards. It happened when some big-name stores were hit by hackers. Prosecutors say it went on for years without anyone noticing. Our report tonight from our senior investigative correspondent, Lisa Myers.
The hackers allegedly penetrated the computer systems of some of the largest companies in the world, including JCPenney, 7-Eleven, NASDAQ, Hannaford's, JetBlue, Heartland, and stole a staggering 160 million credit and debit card numbers. The numbers were then sold to other criminals and used as debit or credit cards or to withdraw money from ATMs, costing victims at least $300 million. Federal prosecutors called it the largest hacking fraud case in history.
This type of crime is really the cutting edge of financial fraud. Those who have the expertise and the inclination to break into our computer networks threaten our economic well-being, our privacy, and ultimately our national security.
Prosecutors described it as a sophisticated 7-year scheme by experienced hackers. 4 Russians and 1 Ukrainian were charged.
Once they got in the networks, and they would often brag to each other that when they were in, they, quote, owned, close quote, the networks.
The stolen data was allegedly stored in computer servers in the U.S. and around the world, and then sold. $10 for an American credit card number, $15 for a Canadian, and $50 for a European. So far, the government says the hundreds of millions of dollars in losses have been borne by the companies. But officials also say there are unknown costs to individuals whose identities were stolen or who may not have noticed unauthorized withdrawals or credit card charges.
The most important thing a consumer can do is to check online cash withdrawals and credit card statements on a regular basis.
But prosecutors warned that this kind of fraud ultimately costs us all by increasing the cost of doing business. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.